MASN's coverage of the 2023 winter meetings are brought to you in part by your Baltimore area Toyota dealers. For legendary safety and reliability, choose Toyota, and let's go places. Well, day one of Major League Baseball's winter meetings are here. I am Brendan Mortensen, joined by our MASN Orioles insider, Roch Kubatko, not wearing a cowboy hat here in Nashville.
A little underdressed, sorry.
Yeah, I think the people are disappointed that we are not seeing enough country attire here.
I'll put my chaps on later.
Okay, good. Yeah, we're all looking forward to that. Last year at winter meetings, Mike Elias kind of said, look, we're gathering information here. They weren't being very aggressive. Right. What do you think the mood for this year is going to be? Are they going to ramp things up a little bit in terms of their aggression? Where do you think the Orioles stand?
Yeah, I don't think they feel pressured where they have to do something here, but they also know this market seems to be evolving quickly and guys can start flying off the board. If you really want that top of the rotation starter or somebody who slots near it at least, and a back-end reliever with closing experience, you can't wait too long because plenty of other teams want pitching too, pretty much everybody.
Right.
So I think if they have that opportunity to strike, they will, but you can't really force it. They're certainly involved in trade discussions. Mike Elias is showing up today, but laying the groundwork for what they did at the GM meetings. And, they know how many teams, for example, Dylan Cease, White Sox, they're not the only team interested.
Yeah.
So how long can you possibly wait on that before somebody else swoops in? So you have to at least say, look, what are you looking for? Here's what we're offering, which they obviously will do. But if you're thinking, well, we can go back home maybe in January, resume talks, I don't think that's happening. So they won't be pressured, but they know there is a certain sense of urgency with some guys.
Yeah, you mentioned Dylan Cease. As you said, a lot of teams are going to be interested in a guy with 2 more years of team control, right. Has looked like one of the best pitchers in baseball at points in his career. What have you been hearing about Cease so far?
Yeah, it sounds like, and I've talked to some people trying to figure out the White Sox thinking, that obviously they're going to want pitching, but also maybe a young infield prospect. Well, the Orioles certainly have those.
Yeah, they've got a few prospects.
They've got a few prospects, and they could also trade from the Major League roster. But the question is, and we're always trying to determine who is off the table completely. Jackson Holliday, sure.
Probably not moving.
Not moving him.
Yeah.
Happy 20th birthday, Jackson Holliday, by the way, today. But who else? Is there somebody that they're like, look, we're not willing to move him, or are they in the right deal? The extra year of controllability is big with him because he's not a rental, but then maybe that makes the White Sox want a little bit more because of that.
Right.
I feel like if they're not going to outspend teams here, the Orioles certainly could out-prospect a lot of teams. But again, you've got to figure out what you're willing to part with, and is that a Kierstead, or what if they say, hey, we want Kalser? What if they say they want Westburg or Kobe Mayo?
Right.
Or what if they want somebody from the Major League roster? So they're going to have to really figure that out, which I'm sure they've already had those discussions, get an idea from the White Sox, really what you're looking for, other than Jackson Holliday, who we're not passing on, or we're not, putting on the table, and see if you can get a deal done.
Yeah, the Orioles can out-prospect just about anybody in baseball, as you mentioned, just a matter of picking what guys would be available for a trade. Let's move over to the free agency market. Dylan Cease was somebody that you mentioned in your article on MASNsports.com this morning as a trade target. A free agent target that you mentioned was Robert Stevenson. Finished out last season with the Rays, started throwing a cutter, looked awesome. Right. What's the buzz around Stevenson?
Yeah, it seems like everybody's interested in him, which again is the problem. The Orioles certainly like him, and they've had talks, but so do so many other teams. Now they want somebody with closing experience, ideally, because of Felix Bautista being out. Even if it's not a full-time, he's our main closer guy, but somebody with that experience you can toss into that pile with Yanier Cano, Ficino Perez, Denny Colom, depending on the matchups, whatever. But this guy, I think, has 3 career saves, so he's not necessarily that guy unless you projected he could be.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really fit the past experience. But he's somebody, you look at the numbers, and they were remarkable this year, the ERA, the WHIP, strikeouts. So I think that that's somebody that they certainly are interested in, but I don't know whether he would solve that back end of the bullpen issue, or if that's one guy they're looking at and they still may be in the market for somebody else.
Right.
Not Josh Hader, I don't think. I don't want to be a hater. I'm just basing it on past history of what they'd be willing to spend on pitching or anybody. And this is a guy that's, what are they projecting maybe?
A lot of money.
A lot of money in a lot of years.
Yeah.
So for somebody that you really need you need a 1-year filler until Bautista's ready again. So I just don't see that as a match, even though he's a local kid. And I've said before, we're both Old Mill High graduates.
Yeah.
I'm willing to share the stardom.
You're trying to beat these hater rumors here.
Right, and I don't want to have the pressure of being the Old Mill guy. I'd fine if Josh wants to join and take some of that pressure off. I just don't think that's a fit based on, the Orioles, what they're willing to spend. and the fact that they're not looking for a guy to be the closer for the next 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, well, a lot of buzz surrounding the Orioles here at winter meetings. We will see what buzz ends up coming to fruition. But of course, make sure you are following along with Roch Kubatko on MASNsports.com, and you can catch all of our coverage on MASNsports.com and the MASN app. For our MASN Orioles insider Roch Kubatko, I'm Brendan Mortensen. Make sure you're following along with us here at Nashville all week long.